You are listening to a previously recorded episode of Stager Talk with RESA's CEO, Shell Broadnax.
The secret's in the stage. The stager really has the opportunity to build the foundation of these investors' businesses. I mean, that's huge. That's something that can really propel these investors to some long-term success.
So there's going to be multiple streams of revenue. There's going to be a lot of furniture that are sitting there in the field and making me passive income.
Hey everybody, Shell Broadnax here with another episode of Stager Talk, and I am so jazzed today to have the amazing, the magnificent Bobbie McGrath. How are you?
I am wonderful, and now I'm marvelous, so I'm good.
You are. You're amazing. You're wonderful. You're kind. All these words that you're a sweetheart. You're educated. You are giving. You want women to succeed. All people to succeed. You literally walk the walk. You walk the talk.
Stop.
I'm telling you. Round of applause for Bobbie.
Thank you. That's very kind of you, Shell. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm always happy to have you because we always have some great conversations. So let's just get into it, because behind you, Mrs. McGrath, you have some amazing accolades. But let's talk about the ones for this year. This is 2022, people.
Yes.
So Bobbie, again, every year we've had the awards for the top 100 most influential people in real estate staging.
That's
Guess
right.
who's on it?
There.
Your girl, Bobbie McGrath, on it.
Very kind of people to vote that way. So thank you, everybody out there. I really do appreciate that. It really is. Every year I think, oh, it's so nice. So thank you very much.
Well, you've definitely, over the years, there's always an evolution to people's businesses, and depending, what it is that they want to do. And you've started out your business doing total stagings, vacants and occupieds, and then you let the vacant go and then got into the occupied. And now you have just become the queen of the occupied listings. And this is her jam. If anybody loves the occupied stuff, you got to get with Bobbie. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But the other award that you won this year, RESA CE Approved Instructor of the Year.
Yes. I was very, very pleased. And it's one of those things that I love to teach. I mean, I don't care what I've done from being a little kid on. I was always about teaching. So I was very honored to receive that. And I was very pleased. So thanks again. I just really appreciate it. And I got to say, the whole instructor program and everything through RESA, I mean, you kind of give it to us on a silver platter, right? So I just show up and follow along with the education that the education slides and the presentation, and it's changed my business. So it's an honor, and it's really been a benefit to my personal business.
Excellent. So for those of you that don't know about the class, it's called Staging to Sell, what every agent should know. It is normally a 3-hour program throughout the U.S. and Canada. However, beautiful North Carolina, where Bobbie and I both reside, 4 hours. She's doing it for 4 hours up there talking. So I know there's a lot of role play. There's a lot of conversation that goes on in Bobbie's classes. She gets amazing feedback from people. I don't think anybody's ever gone into Bobbie's class and said, Never know.
Well, you know what? I honestly, this is what I promised them. I swear this is true. At the beginning of each class, I'll say, okay. And I have everybody tell me what they're hoping to get from the class. And sometimes they fess up and they'll say, look, I just need to get the credits. And I'm like, okay. I said, so what I'm about to say to you is really applicable to you. The one thing I promise is you will not fall asleep in my class. So that's what I always go for. And in the end, it's so kind. They'll come up and they'll say, I didn't get sleepy once. So I'm thinking, score. I've met my level, right?
Your level. You set the expectations.
Sure.
It's really important, for real estate agents to be educated on the local level about staging. It's always interesting to me, the feedback that we get sometimes. And even when I talk to agents that will call RESA and they have a problem listing, or they're questioning something a stager does. And it's just the total lack of awareness about staging. I mean, it's no fault of theirs. If they haven't gone to a class, how would they know? It just doesn't, if I could bewitch it and put in everybody's brain overnight, I would do that, but I can't. So you have to educate them. But some of the things, it's the misinformation. The word misinformation has taken over the universe. It really has. It's everywhere. And people have misinformation about staging. And it's so amazingly helpful to have an instructor to come out, teach a class. They get the credits, they get the education, and they understand what a stager brings to the table. And that's the biggest thing, especially when agents, I think, they're always saying to a stager, well, my commission's only this, and you need to lower your price, and we need to develop a collaborative relationship to move forward. So you should lower your fees. And it's like, they don't understand what the stager's bringing to the table, because after the class, once they understand it, those agents are not asking them for discounts. They're not asking them to come off of their standards, right?
It's very true. And I smile about that whole thing about, my commission is only this. And I will think to myself, that was a business decision that you made. I understand. And so I'm not your employee. I'm actually an asset to you. And so as part of my business plan, this is my fee structure. And it's amazing when I actually had an agent who I adore, and this agent will remain nameless. But what happened was, through the years, I have increased my prices. And so there was a time when I increased the price. I can't remember, it was $50 or $75 on the consultation. And they were really pushing back on that. They said, I'd send you so much business and da, da, da. And I looked at them and I said, you're really disappointing me here. I thought I meant more to you than that. But there for a while, because of the relationship, I accepted the lower fee. And every time they would hand me the check, I would look at that, and I would look at them, and I would fold it and put it away. And so it was really interesting, because one day, as I provide a consultation, and it wasn't too long after that, all of a sudden they hand me the check, and I looked at it, and it was my full fee. And I looked at them, and they said, you make me so much money. What am I doing? Why would I begrudge that? That extra $75, you've changed the way I run my business. Why am I begrudging you that?
Yeah.
And so they actually have, over time, have encouraged me to raise my prices. So it's very interesting once they do start seeing the value that you bring to the table. And that's a huge, huge thing I want stagers to hear, is to understand, what our main job is. If you were to break it down to its base level, do you know what our job is, Shell?
Tell me, Bobbie.
It's to make people money.
There you go.
Think about it. The homeowner's making more money, the agent's making more money, the power washer, the lawn guy, the house cleaners, everybody's making money based on the intellectual property you are sharing with them. And so why in the world should you be giving that away? And here's another thing. If you, I'm just going to make up money, dollar signs. Okay. So let's say you do a consultation for $50. I'm just making that up. And you go in there and you're recommending that they invest $7,000 in granite. Oh, let's say $8,000 worth of painting, redoing the floors. By the way, here's the same color, if you're making all of these recommendations and the client go all in, do you really think that they're going to give as much credibility as a $50 consultant versus if you come in and you're charging $500 for your consultation?
Absolutely.
Where is it that they feel more confidence? And another thing, if they're hiring you on your price, then if and when you are wanting to suggest additional services to them, is that really a match? If they just want it for as cheap as possible, do you think they're going to want to invest more? So you have to understand that your pricing really is part of your brand. And if you feel that you really are that $50 consultant, that's fine. Own it and market like that. Don't market like you're the top notch, whatever. You're the one that will get in and get out, and you'll give them the nice basic information that they're looking for, and they will be better. But don't be marketing yourself as if you're doing all these other things for the client. And if you happen to be doing all of those things for the extra client, you're bringing that level of expertise so you can provide to them confidence about whether or not to update the carpet, whether or not to do whatever it is and how you prioritize. If you're bringing all of that to the table, you need to be charging more. So that'll be kind of my price talk here in a nutshell, but that's where I keep seeing the ball being dropped. And with the education, becoming an instructor and actually having that level of expertise that you're sharing with agents, it changes the way they see your fee structure. So it's a real benefit. If you're brand new and you don't have a lot of education and information, get it. It's out there. And then get that experience together and then share it with the agents. So I believe we need to be in business at least 3 years before we can become an instructor. Is that correct, Shell?
No, you actually have to be a RESA Pro, which means you have to be in business for at least a year. And then the RESA Pro, you have to pass the ethics exam. And then we have higher level requirements for RESA Pro, but yes.
Got it. Okay. I just can't remember all the different levels because I know we were just changing things up when I was on the board, right? So anyway, education is key across the board, whether you're the stager, whether you're the instructor, whether you're an agent, whatever it is, education and sharing that and sharing your expertise, that's what people are hiring. And I like to say that people are not hiring you to come in and tell them to clean, paint, and to declutter. What they are doing is asking you to come in and help them showcase the fixed assets of the house.
Yeah.
So those are things to be thinking about. Education is key. Education. And when you can explain to your clients the reasons behind the recommendations that you're making so that they can make an educated decision, that's when you're elevated in their eyes. And if there's pushback, embrace it. If they're pushing back, they're not saying no. Right. They're just saying, convince me. Tell me why.
Tell me more.
Exactly. So education. I'm all about education. You know that, Shell.
Get yourself educated. I'm telling you, it really is true. And even, when you see in the Facebook groups and people are saying, this is what's happening with an agent and what do I do? And it all comes down to if you had the education, if you had the experience,
sure,
you'd be able to handle those things on the fly.
Exactly.
And it is true what you said about how they view you. And they view your fee structure. They also view the person differently, your overall brand. Like when you become an instructor or when you become an award winner, when you become a leader within RESA and you've done the work, not just somebody who's done a title. Let me tell you, people, there's been people over the years that, they volunteer for something. They're just in it for the title to put in their email template.
Sure.
That's not going to get you anywhere. What gets you is doing the work. Bobbie's done the work over the years, served many, many leadership positions over the years. And it's the whole thing. It's the whole enchilada. When you go to a real estate event, a networking event, one of their marketing meetings, and you see the people there, the movers and the shakers, they're the award winners. They're the top salespeople. They're the ones who've got the most education. These are the ones that are making it happen. And stagers, you can all do that too. Because when you walk into the room and you have these accolades, it raises your credibility and people view you differently. They say, that's a no. It's not like when anybody walks in, I'm sure, the C doesn't part when Bobbie walks in a room quite yet to where people say, oh, award winner, Bobbie McGrath is here. Let the meeting begin. It doesn't quite work that way. But when you have the press release or you have it on your website or they stumble across it. Oh, I just had a great idea. We can make award winner pins. I have to write that down.
That's a great idea.
Award pins.
That's a great. See, this is how great ideas happen. Y'all need to sit down. This is what I love about talking with other stagers and stuff. We all sit down and we'll be spitballing ideas, and we do complain about things going on, but then we come up with fabulous solutions and we share. Yeah, so
happen. So people just view you differently. You're held to a higher esteem and a higher standard, and so people. Also, when they see you in that position, they question you less.
That's a really good perspective. There's a line I want to draw to their Shell, is that sometimes it's like you can win an award or something, and it's because you had that one moment of just really perfection, and it's seen and it is recognized. This is when that whole thing about confidence and competence comes into place, right? So it may be that you're brand new and you just happen to have the perfect thing that happened, and all of a sudden you win this award and you're like, oh my gosh, you really want to build on that confidence that people place onto you as a result of that. And that comes from education and experience. And there are a lot of things to work around there. But I'm really want to push the competency part. It's like you want to be competent in what it is that you do and understand the reasons why you do it behind there, because that's what people relate to. And what you want is when they come to you and they just kind of take it, oh, okay, well, she's like, well, I'm going to listen to what she does. And they do everything that you say. And then it's a big mix up. I've seen this happen. Then they doubt you altogether, right?
Yes.
And then it takes more to get over that. But
Yeah.
if you embrace that and continually look for, how can I do this better? What can I add to the mix that will enhance this experience for my client? What can I do? Part of what I've done for years, and I was realizing I haven't been doing this lately, so I'm going to get back to doing this. After I'm done with the consultation, I will get a hold, because I always send them my top 10 list to the agents, and I would ask, please, if there's anything, any feedback you receive from your client or anything that I can do to improve my services, please let me know, because that's the bottom line. I always want to do my best for you. And when you do that, you're inviting pushback, you're inviting those things. And I will tell you, so much of what I train to is based on that feedback. There were things that I did, I had no idea that it was being received that way. And there were times I would be using humor to kind of get through some tense moments. I had an agent get back to me and he said, oh my God, you drove them crazy when you were using this phrase over and over again. He thought he was just going to go shoot himself because he couldn't hear that from you one more time. So it made me really reflect on, okay, I think humor is a valuable tool, but I got to thinking, oh, I need to be aware of. And so it just changed. Yeah, it changed the way that I do it. So lots to talk about that. But the awards,
the thing with the awards, it's not that you got the award, it's what the award represents, and it's what the award does for you. It's not just some magical thing. Hey, you got an award, boom, you're going to go out and get new business. It does raise your confidence level. It breathes confidence about you, and therefore you carry yourself differently, whether people realize it or not.
It's
this
true.
Is one thing that we know. And I can tell you anecdotally from doing this for, RESA's 15 years, when people start out and they start within RESA and they start getting awards, they grow. They grow.
True. It's true.
Grow. They get warehouses. They kind of like up level, like the immediate year afterwards. And that is because the confidence that it gives you. But like you said, if you don't have the competence, somebody can be completely confident and going out and telling everybody all the wrong things, and people are hook, line, and sinker, right? And they're doing it all, and then it goes wrong. So you have to have the competency with the confidence, and you got to get the education. So let's talk about a little bit more education. What do you have on the horizon coming up?
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. So back in 2019, I was very happy to have received the most innovative product or service of the year from RESA. And that's for my Occupied Consultation Specialist program. And I was just so very pleased because I had looked back over time and thought, way back in 2004, if there's one thing I could have done and one thing that I could have known to really get my business off solid financially and all those things, what would it have been? And at this point, I'd done both vacant and occupied side. I'd done the warehouses, had the trucks, the teams, and all of those things. And I was like thinking, what's the one thing? And I thought, if I could have provided just a top tier, drop dead occupied consultation that would have been low overhead, it would have been high content, and it would have been easily actionable by the clients. Oh my gosh, instead of taking a good 4 years to meet some of my initial financial goals, I would have been so much more solid. So that's when I created the OCS class. So I'm very excited because this coming Monday, which is August 29th, my cart opens for the OCS class. And so that's Occupied Consultation Specialist. Could I have made it any longer? .com. If anybody's ever interested, go over there, www.occupiedconsultationspecialist.com, and you can hop onto the wait list. And if you happen to see this after that time, the cart's open. You can see more about the class and learn, and the fees and everything are on there. But I'm so excited. But wait, there's more.
Yay!
So in addition to my course, which I love, that goes over 6 weeks, and there's group coaching involved in that as well. But Tuesday tonight. So you'll probably miss this, but what I'm doing this Tuesday and Thursday, I'm doing Facebook Live on my Occupied Home Stagers page and on Facebook. And it's at 2:00 Eastern time, USA time. And today I'm going to share some of those insights I had when I first started. What would I have changed? What are some of the big mistakes I made? And boy, what could I have done to avoid them? How did I change my business based on that? And then Thursday, I'm really excited because I'm going to be interviewing a local agent here who we had an interesting conversation the other day. She said to me, she goes, Bobbie, she's been working with me for a few years. She goes, I get advertising all the time from stagers, different stagers. And I go, yeah. And she goes, I got to tell you, every time I look at it, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Oh,
I said, really? I said, why is that? And she said, well, what they say is like, come on. She said, it's just not believable. And she said, another thing is I can't believe how she doesn't even mention how the agent works into this, because she said her impression was the ads, the marketing pieces that she would receive from these companies, they behaved as if they were the only reason that home sold in 4 hours for $250,000 above ask. But she's got a lot to say about those things. And she can also talk about what resonates with her. And she really is pretty savvy and she's well connected in the area. So I'm going to do one of my techniques, which I'm going to ask her to be the voice of the industry and let me get a kind of a compilation of what it is that agents are saying about our marketing efforts in our area. So I'm going to ask a lot of very pointed questions. So she's actually going to be here at my house with me and we're going to sit here and chat. But that's Thursday, whichever date that is. I lose track of days. Today's the 23rd, so it'll be August 25th at 2:00 Eastern time here in the US. And I'm going to ask her questions. And by the way, it's Facebook Live. So you guys join me. You can ask questions. And if you know me, you know me. I love questions. And I'll be honest. If I don't know, I'll make it up. No. If I don't know, I'll figure it out and I'll get back to you and let you know. But please join us. I'd love to have you guys join.
Is the Facebook Live, does that record it for you so it stays on your page afterwards? Can people watch it?
Oh, yeah. That's what I'll do. Yes, I can record. Yeah, it'll go on to Facebook. Yeah. And cool. I'm going to keep it to under an hour because, come on, that's too much. Unless the questions take us longer.
Hey,
I'd like to do probably, I know you never know. So I'm looking at probably 20 minutes or so. And then it's just, but we're going to answer questions as we go. And I love Stacy. She's very easy. You guys are going to love her. You'll love her. She's personable and she'll tell you like it is. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of person. Just
true.
Just bullet point it for me, man. Just give you the facts.
Yep.
Just the facts, man. Remember that saying? Just the facts.
Oh, there you go. What's that? I
There's that Car 50.
Oh my God. Was that
the Car 51? What was that show? It was a black and white show.
This is true.
Oh, Bobbie, my friend, it is always so amazing to speak to you. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your expertise, and congratulations on the awards and for everything that you do for the industry. And for anybody else that is out there, if you are in staging already, or you're looking to get into staging and you want to focus on the occupieds, even if you don't want to focus on them, but you just want to learn more about them because you're doing them in your business, Bobbie is the person to go to. Give us everybody your website one more time.
www.occupiedconsultationspecialist.com.
Awesome. And check her out. She's got a waiting list on her website. And then once the waiting list clears, she's going to have classes available online. And she does an amazing, amazing job. You will love working with Bobbie. Everybody else, until next time, I'm Shel Broadnax with Stager Talk. Happy staging, everybody. Bye.